Now, from Accra to Zabzugu, from Bolga to Ho, Kumasi to Takrady, well, our spaces are littered with roads. Some good, some bad. But the important thing is that we have roads that allow us to travel to and fro to do things, economic activities or personal activities. Now, if you live within any of the areas I've mentioned, it will be easy for you to navigate your way. But if you don't, then it will be hard for you. That's why we have things such as road signs. Signs to tell you if there's a hill or cliff ahead. Signs to tell you if there are rocks falling. Signs to tell you if there might be children crossing ahead of you. On today's edition of the Auto Showroom, we're talking about road signs. Where are they coming from? What do we need to do to ensure that driving or using our roads is safe, not just for pedestrians, but also for commercial drivers? My name is Bobby Osei, and you're welcome to the show. Before we go for our first break, though, we want to find out from you if you know what this sign stands for. What is it used for, or what does it mean? Well, we will get our answer by the end of the show, but before that, let's go for a quick break. You're watching the Auto Showroom.
City TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access City TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. City TV, it's your world.
Every individual who gets behind a vehicle, a car, motorbike, or the like, is required to use or understand the content of Ghana's highway code. This allows for safe driving on our roads, but a lot of drivers from trotro to commercial are driving around without actually understanding or appreciating what the highway code is for. So in order for us to learn and appreciate the relevance of the highway code, we're here at the headquarters of the Ghana Police Service, specifically to speak to the man who understands everything when it comes to road signs, Superintendent Dr. Samuel Sosu Mensah, to talk to us about the highway code. I'm sure a lot of people are watching this and wondering what is he talking about. What is the Ghana highway code, sir?
No, the crux of the issue is that every road user, what a road user ought to know is that the issue is not quite there about the highway code, but to know the basic rules and the regulations governing the use of the road. So you are supposed to be abreast with the Road Traffic Act 683 of 2004, Road Traffic Regulation 2012, LI 2180. And basically what the Road Traffic Act says, a portion of the Road Traffic Act says that if you are a driver and you are driving on a road, you should be familiar with the content of the highway code. So the highway code, knowing the content of the highway code is part of the act, the Road Traffic Act 683 of 2004.
How long has the highway code been in place?
It has been in place since 1974.
Wow.
1974. You see, 1974 we changed traffic, and the crux of the issue is they were saying in 3 they said what different. So that was the time where we changed from the left to the right.
Driving
so
on the left side
to the right side.
Okay.
So that was why the highway code was virtually in place.
Now, you say 1974. That's a long time ago.
Yes.
I mean, since then, the vehicles, have changed. You have electric cars on the road, the roads themselves. There's been some improvement in terms of infrastructure and the vehicles themselves.
Yes.
Do you feel that the document that was published in 74 is still relevant today?
Yes, but the highway code is not what the police enforce. We enforce the Road Traffic Act and regulations. But even the Road Traffic Act and regulations have been amended several times. But as to the question that you asked, it is the DVLA that is responsible for the making or for the production of the highway code. And we have met as a committee. We have met several times, I think last year or last 2 years. A committee came together and we have done a draft of the review of the highway code. Okay. And it is yet to be implemented or produced.
Okay.
So a draft of the new highway code is with the Driver and Vehicle License Authority. Very soon, I think that when it is regularized, it will be published for us to all use.
Very soon?
Yes, very soon.
Now, so there are rules and regulations regarding how the roads we have in our country are used by pedestrians as well as commercial drivers, motorbike users. What should be the attitude of the Ghanaian, whether you're driving or you're using the road, when it comes to our rules and regulations? What should be our attitude?
The issue is just straightforward. The rules, the regulations, and the acts have been made for us as drivers. What we ought to do as responsible and professional drivers is to abide by the rules and regulations so that there will be sanity and safety on our roads. Road traffic accidents that are occurring on our roads would be surely downsized. So that's the crux of the issue. The issue is that the rules and regulations are there for us all to obey. If you obey the rules and regulations, you don't have any problems with the police. But if you go contrary to the rules and regulations, that is where the police will come in. And what we do is that we don't exact punishment. We arrest you, and the rest is left for the court to deal with you.
So for enforcement of the rules and regulations,
yes,
the police that enforces?
Yes, we enforce. The Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service enforces all traffic rules and regulations in Ghana.
Wow. Now, we often hear the expression, give way to traffic on the left. I mean, what does this mean? Can you explain to us?
Give way to traffic on the left.
Yes.
Give way to traffic on the left.
Yeah.
So, it comes at a time when you are driving and where you are supposed to stop for other persons to also drive. For example, in a curb or in a roundabout. Yes. You want what we call the right of way. Yes. So the right of way, if you don't want to ensure that there is an accident, then you give way to the traffic to the one who is driving on your left side.
Within the roundabout already.
On the left side. So the driver might be ahead. So you let him go. Then after he goes, he's ahead of you. Then you also go, so that there wouldn't be any road traffic accidents, which will be on that portion, on that stretch of the road or the roundabout. So it is about being careful to ensure safety on the road. It is not about haphazard driving any way you like, but order. It's about order, safety, and safety.
So the argument has been settled on, because when we get to traffic, drivers are jostling as to who has the right of way. So the person within the roundabout has a right of way.
Yes. Based on the context of the situation. So that is it. If the person is ahead of you, then what you do is that you wait for the person to go. Then after he has crossed safely, then also follow suit.
Now, another important part when it comes to the rules and regulations would be the use of road signs. Now, we see different road signs, some colored white, red, blue, with some black markings. For starters, does the shape of a road sign matter? You see circular, rectangular, triangular?
So first and foremost, in terms of road signs, if you talk about those issues, there are the reasons, the importance why road signs are there, and what the road signs really means. First and foremost, road signs and markings perform some functions which are stated in the highway code. First, first and foremost, they warn road users. So they are there to warn road users about the routes that you cannot fly. Then secondly, they are also there to inform where you are supposed to pass, and they will direct your path. Then they will also have to regulate how things are done on the road. So there are rules and regulations and signs governing the use of the road. So every professional as a driver, we must abide by the signs, the rules as stated by the Ghana Highway Code to ensure safety. Otherwise, when you go contrary to those signs and rules and regulations, it means that you have flouted the laws with impunity and that you have to sanction. So road signs are classified basically into three. First, we have the warning signs, the signs that are there to warn you as a driver.
Okay.
Then otherwise, we have the regulatory, those that regulate you. And thirdly, those that give you information.
Okay.
So,
Warning,
regulatory information. And they are all represented by chiefs. So when it is in secular forms, then it says it's going to regulate you or it is going to give you orders. When it is triangular, then it is meant to warn you. And when it is hexagon, then it is meant to inform you as a driver.
Hexagon, then is meant to inform you.
Yes, inform you as to how to drive. The signs would have to inform you as to how to drive on that particular stretch of a road.
What would you say from where you sit are some of the most misunderstood road signs in Ghana now?
Ghana, first and foremost, I would talk about the use of traffic lights.
Okay.
We all know that when it is red, it signals you to stop, and green is good. However, when we see yellow, yellow can be somewhat ambiguous.
Confusing, yes.
So if the light turns yellow, then
what
it means that you need to be careful, or you need to stop, so that when it gets to stop, you stop. So yellow or amber means stop.
Oh.
But sometimes when amber is there, is that against that background now, people will be running through.
Yes, we
Yes.
try to rush through.
Yes. So that is another. And then another one is the no waiting and no parking. No waiting means you should keep your car moving and not stop to pick up passengers. So the sign prohibits you as a driver you shouldn't pick up a passenger, but a driver is highly permitted to alight a passenger or get down the goods. So the no parking means you can drop off or pick up passengers at the same lane where the lines is designated. So basically that is the crux of the issue. People confuse those signs, and people also don't know how to walk through or drive through the traffic lights.
I mean, the point about the no parking. So if I'm driving, I can drop people off, pick people off, but I cannot park there. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, you cannot park. Yes, definitely that is it. And people are abusing the rules and regulations with impunity. But the crux of the issue, the crux of the matter is that they should go ahead and read the contents of the highway codes, and they will be abreast with the rules and regulations. And by that, traffic accidents might not happen, and that it will also try to reduce congestions on that road.
Now, I mean, not to take us back, but this point about the amber,
amber means stop.
Stop.
Yes.
It's not to try and rush through.
Yes.
So if you're watching, remember that if it gets to yellow,
stop.
Do not try and rush
but
through.
Even green means you can only go if it is safe. It doesn't mean that for sure if it's green you should go. You go if it's safe for you to drive through.
I remember the song that says, red means stop, yellow means get ready.
We have to revise it. Yeah, revise it, because that might not be. Green means only go if it's safe for you to go. Otherwise, you might get an accident. So, for instance, when you are driving and it is green, and someone is also crossing, and it means that you are going to go ahead and knock that person down. It means that place at that moment, at that particular point in time, although it is green,
it's
not safe for you to pass through.
Great, awesome. Now, I mean, we find a lot of speed limits, but from you, where you sit, what is the speed limit for driving in Ghana?
It depends on the particular route that you are driving. So, for instance,
inner city, outer city.
Yes, when you are driving on a motorway, it is 100 kilometers per hour. When you are driving on a highway, it is 80 kilometers per hour. And when you are driving in urban routes, it's 50 kilometers per hour. Then,
Urban roads, for example.
Yes, urban roads that are urban, in an urbanized area.
Okay.
Then when you are driving in a residential area, where there are schools, where there are markets, then it is 30 kilometers per hour.
Now, if we are driving in an area, for example, and you don't see a speed limit, I know you've given us the list now from the motorway to the highway.
Yes, if you don't even speed it, I've said there is a motorway. Yeah. You know roads that are designated as motorways. Yeah. So irrespective of the speed limit, you must drive according to the rules and regulations. You know a highway, and you know an urban road, a town.
I mean, give me for just to clear doubt. So we know the motorway, the highway, for example, like the George Walker Bush Highway,
yes,
is
highway.
The one. The urban
roads is any urbanized vicinity on the road. Urban, you
know
know what is urban.
Yes,
when I tell yes. In a residential area, if you are driving at where people are staying, then
the speed limit
also changes.
Okay.
Where there are schools, where there are churches, and people are walking across, the crux of the matter is that you should reduce your speed.
Can you take me through the list again?
I'm saying first and foremost, motorways 100 kilometers per hour. Highways is 80 kilometers per hour.
Okay.
Urban roads 50 kilometers per hour, and residential areas it is 30 kilometers per hour.
Okay. Now, when at the traffic intersection, are drivers allowed to cut into any lane? What is the rule that guides drivers when they are moving, when it's green and it's safe to move? Are they allowed to get into the lane of maybe?
No, certainly you cannot do that. You cannot do. As for drivers, particularly, there are rules and regulations. Mm-hmm. In road safety or in defensive driving, we have what we call COAT, C-O-A-T.
Yes.
Where C means concentration. Mm-hmm. You have to concentrate on the way and manner you are driving. Yeah. O, you must observe. A, you should be alert. And T, you must tolerate other drivers. If you drive contrary to this concept, then it means that you are bound to have an accident. And that early morning, as a defensive driver, as a professional driver, early morning when you start or you want to commence your driving, you must wear what we call your coat, where C is concentration.
Concentrate.
O, observation.
Observe.
E, alertness. And T, we tolerate other drivers.
Wow, I mean, we need a lot of education on that. We see a lot of commercial drivers.
Yes. But when you do that, when you observe those concepts, there are no really, hardly will you get an accident or crash while you drive on a road.
Now we see zebra crossings at different places. Are drivers allowed to park on zebra crossings?
Drivers are not allowed to drive even across zebra crossings. You cannot park your vehicle at zebra crossings. If you do that, it is tantamount to dangerous driving. It is tantamount to careless and inconsiderate driving. The law says that if you are there is a reason why zebra crossings are erected, to allow pedestrians to cross the road. So the law says that if you are approaching a zebra crossing, what you ought to do as a driver is to slow down. Okay. If immediately someone steps his or her foot on a zebra crossing, it means that you driver, you must stop. So woe betides you if you're a driver and you knock somebody down in a zebra crossing, then you have a punishment which will be meted to you. It will be against it will be about dangerous driving. You are not driving professionally or driving as per what the law expects you to drive as a professional and competent and careful driver. Wow. So you are not allowed to even park your car at the zebra crossing. Neither are you to speed. So on zebra crossings, what you ought to do as a professional driver is to drive slowly. When it means for you to stop, you ought to stop for the pedestrian to cross before you move ahead.
Now, we have what we call the war against indiscipline at City FM and City TV. Yes. And we are catching a lot of people on your cameras with parking on the shoulders of the road. Can you talk to me about that? People parking on the shoulders of the road, they keep repeating it.
So what we have said is that's why we're on the road. the functions of the MTTD is to enforce traffic rules and regulations. So basically, when we go, that is where we see us in action, arresting those who flout the rules and regulations with impunity. Despite what we do is that we don't regard your personality as a. What we see you when we see you as a driver who is driving a vehicle, and for that matter, you have to observe the rules and regulations. So as a team, if you fail to respect traffic rules, if you fail to respect traffic regulations, then of course we would go in and arrest you. But the key issue about what we are facing as a team is about indiscipline, indiscipline, and indiscipline. People are not respecting traffic rules and regulations. But so far, what we have realized that even so many people who are driving on our routes, they call themselves professional drivers, but they don't, or they have not even seen what we call the Road Traffic Act 683 of 2004. They have not even read the content of the Highway Code, road traffic regulations. They don't know. They have not even. If you have not even seen it, if you have not even seen it, how can you respect the rules and regulations? So that is the key issues that we face as a team in enforcing the content of the law.
So essentially, I mean, Ghanaians, professional drivers need to ensure that they abreast themselves
with the law. Otherwise you can't obey it, and that is where you'll be committing the offenses. If you commit the offenses, we also are there to arrest you.
Can you repeat the law again?
There are various laws that governs the use of the road. First and foremost, the parent law is the Road Traffic Act 2004 at 683, and Road Traffic Regulation is a regulation, Road Traffic Regulation 2012 LI 2180, and there have been amendments. So if you want to drive on our roads, you don't want to have any confrontations with the police. Just abide by the content of what the law says.
Well, Superintendent Dr. Sasu Mensah, thank you so much there, sharing his take on why we need to understand all regulations and rules that guide our use of the road as pedestrians and as professional drivers as well. Because if you don't, his men will come for you, arrest you, and basically put you, behind bars if your offense is that grave. Well, you're still watching the Auto Showroom. We're going for a quick break. We'll be back with more. It's time now for us to bring you our auto tip for the day. And our auto tip basically is that you should apply wiper fluids before you operate your windshield wipers. Why? Well, because it ensures that your windshields are protected from micro scratches that may develop as a result of dust that settles on your windshield. So that's it for our auto tip. Time now for us to go for a quick break. You're still watching the Auto Showroom.
City TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access City TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and Star Times box. City TV, it's your world.
Well, it's time for us to wrap up today's edition of the Auto Showroom. Hopefully you've learned a lot about road signs and things you need to do as a pedestrian, as a commercial driver or a professional driver to ensure there is discipline on our roads. Before we go, however, time for us to bring you our answer to our auto trivia for the day. And we asked you if you know what this image stands for. Well, basically stands for no overtaking. Hope you have that. No overtaking. Many thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Auto Showroom. We'll catch you on the next episode.